And yes, we are back. Shout outs to us for making it back. You, me, all of us. And today we're looking at Diablo 4. First early in-game review is here and tells us everything. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna find out together, watch together, and yeah, you know the drill. And if you don't know, it is your boy Kexis. That's me, I'm your boy. And let's hop right into this. I have the lights off because it's all natural lighting behind me. And it is like, got the room looking kind of weird. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. Hopefully. So let's go.
All right, so here we go. So today we're taking a look at our very first real early review in progress of the Diablo 4 in-game. There's also some concerns about the in-game.
Wait, what's an early review in progress? What? I mean, who? Whatever.
Gameplay loop. More on that in a moment. Also, some fake news about Diablo 4 went out, and we need to clear the air about that one because it went very viral. So yeah, we got to talk about it. Plus, yes, mount abilities are a thing, and a new gameplay trailer shows off the 6 monster families, unique encounters, bosses, and much more. A lot to talk about. But yeah, check this out right here. So we all know how important it is to have a sleek user interface in, well, games like Diablo 4. I needed that, but for my internet browser, and that's when I discovered Opera GX. It has a beautiful, sleek look that is also highly customizable. Just look at what you can do with mods, for example.
Wait, so this is a browser?
Which allow you to completely change the look and feel of the browser. There's a ton of mods to choose from, but I went with the Dark Souls theme, and now Opera GX looks and sounds like I have stepped into the world of Dark Souls. Let's just say I love it. And with mods, you can edit the shade.
I mean, does anyone care about this type of stuff? I feel like it's all useless.
There's the theme, the wallpaper, the background music, browser sounds, and even
like background music for a browser. And if you're choosing Cyberpunk, I don't know. I mean, to each their own, I guess. I'm not in love with my browser, so I don't care. I just use it, and it's open all the time. Like, it's not really
the keyboard sounds. Take a listen.
To customize. What the? I wouldn't want that.
And get this, Opera GX can enhance your PC's performance with GX Control and Network Limiter, so your games run great both online and off. No more lag. And you can even integrate Twitch, Facebook Messenger, Discord, Twitter, WhatsApp, Telegram, and much more to keep track of your online life in one place. It's also...
Yeah, keep track of your online life in one place. Yeah, no, I'm okay. Most people, it's just not a good product, man. I'm just being honest.
Available on PC and mobile, so download it right now for free in that description below. And I love the GX Corner, which keeps you up to date on all the latest game releases, gaming news, but GX Corner is also fantastic because it helps you spot free games and the best deals. GX Corner has also done a...
All right, it's like on paper, it's kind of good. I don't know.
Great job in finding me that hidden gem in a sea of game releases. So join me right now and click that link in the description below to download Opera GX, the best browser experience for gamers. All right, so yeah, let's get into the official stuff. First and foremost, talking about that big controversy because some fake news went absolutely viral recently, and we have a correction from Blizzard, and then we're gonna dive into brand new gameplay trailer, which talks
Did it really go viral though?
Stuff.
Like what
news? So first and foremost, we have this right here. Diablo 4's mounts are off limits until you beat the campaign, but wait.
They literally said you get mounts during the campaign. It's like a quest you have to complete earlier.
Hold up, because we got an immediate reply from Rod Ferguson of Blizzard, who says this. Actually, we clarified that was a mistake. It actually happens as part of the quest line during the campaign. But
they already said this. How did this go viral?
We want to know more exactly how this system works. Thankfully, we have full clarity today.
Viral.
Adam Fletcher, the community manager of Blizzard, says this. We update our Play Your Way blog to help clarify some questions related to mounts and when these become available. Now, mounts, they unlock through completing a quest line as you progress naturally through the main story campaign. Mounts have an assortment of customization options available to them, such as different types of mounts, armor, and trophies. Take a look at them, by the way. Here's some gameplay that they showcased recently in that new gameplay trailer. They look really, really cool. An example of this is the Cry of a Shava mount trophy reward that can be earned from the upcoming Server Slam. These adornments will transform your trusty old steed into one hell of a war horse. Mount trophies can be attached to the flank or saddle of your horse. Yet there are dozens of trophies to be found in Sanctuary. Now, once a mount is unlocked, by the way, it can be used in all game modes for any and all characters the player creates. So essentially, it is account-wide.
That's good.
Now we know. Now the controversy is dispelled, so you do not have to wait until you beat the entire campaign to gain access.
I just don't believe anyone believed this. They've already so many times said you'll get the mount when you complete a certain quest in the campaign. For Kotaku to release something like that, it's kind of just unprofessional and lazy on whoever tweeted it. But again, if you are actually looking forward to this game, you probably already knew that. So I don't think it went viral.
To your mount. In
I think
fact,
the word,
from the
I don't know
recent
what this guy
tips
thinks
and tricks
viral
video
is.
on the Diablo 4 official YouTube channel, it was seen that someone was actually playing with the mount at level 25. So yeah, it seems like you can get the mount kind of pretty quickly in this game.
I thought it was like Act 2.
We got to talk about
right?
that brand new gameplay trailer that did release for Diablo 4. It included tips and tricks and a lot of cool stuff, but also it talked about monster families and, yes, the special monsters. So there's going to be 6 monster families in the game, and these include the cannibals, the drowned, the fallen, the ghoul, the goatmen, and of course the skeletons. And what's unique about the monster families is, yes,
So they drop
they're going to have their own elites. Most
and they have
importantly, they're
special
going to also
elites,
have
I think.
unique monsters within. And you also have to remember with monster families, what's so unique about them is you can target farm them for certain items. So yeah, for example, the skeletons will be dropping more crossbows, and we have yet to discover what the goatmen will be dropping more of, but yeah, there's certain bonuses tied to certain gear and items. But we got to move on and talk about the special monsters. So these special monsters will drop incredibly specific gear that will always have the same stats when dropped, meaning that you can go ahead and specifically fine-tune your build by hunting these special monsters. But do not expect to farm these monsters as they always drop.
I just want to play the game so bad. I'm so tired of hearing people try to overcomplicate these very basic like things. Of course, there's going to be special gear for certain monsters. Like that's not new, man. Like just let us play the like. It's like people. I don't know, man. It's like every other video when someone mentions like Diablo 4, it's like people are surprised about the smallest things that have existed for at least 5+ years in other games. Oh, well, at least ARPGs. It's like, I don't know, man. Like
the same item. But this is going to be a really cool way to be able to discuss with friends and to be able to really figure out the game as to what monsters go.
Maybe because so many new people to the genre are playing. I guess I get that. Let me step back a little bit. There are probably significantly a lot of like Diablo 4 is going to be their first RPG. So let me dial that back a little bit. You know, that's my opinion on it, but I guess it's fair in the grand scheme of things.
Go after
to
for
cover
that
it.
specific sought after unique or rare weapon. All right, so we got to also talk about that. Yes, it was noted that in this new gameplay trailer, each class has dismount abilities when jumping off their actual mount. This is such a cool
kinda cool.
feature. Now, they don't sound like they're going to be completely OP, but it sounds like there's multiple varying abilities to where you can actually initiate battle from your horse. And that's going to be really, really cool. So, yeah, we got to talk about that in-game review in progress. And yes, it is very much review in progress. This comes from Riker. Who got to sit down and play the in-game in depth and give his opinion here. And yeah, it seems like he's pretty honest because he does talk about both the good and the...
I'm not rolling my eyes at Riker. I watched the review. I watched half of it by myself, and I watched the other half But Osmon, not with Osmon, but he was reacting to it, and it didn't really like. It didn't really change my opinion on anything. It just kind of like left me wondering, like, well, it sounds like they have an ARPG on their hands. What else is new? That's just how am feeling. I think a lot of people are just trying to treat this as like the next coming of Jesus or something. It's just a game. We don't know how good it was gonna be. We don't know how bad it's gonna be. It is. I mean, like, let's just wait. Let's not put too much expectations in this or that, or get upset about this or that, or have discussions about this or that when we haven't played it, haven't seen it. It's like so many people don't. We just don't know anything, and yet that you see opinions everywhere in every direction. And it's like, where's like like we just, I don't know, man.
The bad and his concerns. And I think there's some nuances in here that you might have missed. So let's go ahead and dive.
It's like Riker has an opinion. It's feel like it's just not really newsworthy. After listening to it firsthand, I feel like you could have listened to it yourself and then interpreted your own opinions. It's not really worth quoting him or taking what he said. Again, he's just one person with one opinion. I feel like it's just not newsworthy.
Dive into that right now. So yeah, he talked about
No hate on Riker. I don't know him. Never really watched any of his stuff besides that video. I just feel like he's just describing a game, a game, an ARPG.
his experience with the in-game. He was given a well-geared level 45 rogue character to play with, and his first goal was to basically complete the capstone dungeon to unlock the 3rd world tier, but encountered some difficulties with champion monsters and the actual boss fight itself. He had to adjust his build and craft fully upgraded gear to increase damage output, and eventually overcame the challenge. Now, Riker,
I'm gonna see if he mentions this, but Riker said in the video he was under leveled when he did it. When he did the first capstone dungeon, he was like 10 levels under, or maybe five or 10 levels under. When he did it the second time, or did the second dungeon for to unlock Nightmare tier, he said he basically breezed through it. He only had an issue at the boss, but he was also higher. He was the same level or higher level. So he does note that his difficulty came because he was under level the first time, and then the only thing that was kind of difficult was learning the boss and kind of overcoming the boss and changing to spec for that boss specifically.
did conclude that the in-game is both a gear and skill check, and that players should expect a significant challenge when unlocking Nightmare difficulty. He stresses the importance of being at the correct level to tackle the dungeons and adapting builds to survive one-shot mechanics. So yes, that is definitely going to be a concern with the going into the in-game, is being aware about the one-shot mechanics. Now, respecs are also available in the in-game, and players do generate gold rapidly enough to afford it even at level 75, but he did warn that he was only really able to respec the entire Paragon board, not his entire character from scratch. That's a different beast, so I'm assuming that is a lot more expensive in the in-game. And in the in-game, it seems like it's going to be more about the Paragon board.
It's only
Respecking
35.
your character from scratch might
it's probably
be
more.
the area
It's
that
50,
is
right?
a little bit concerning and expensive, I would assume. Now, Riker also
It wasn't that expensive in the beta, so I can't imagine it ramping up that much.
talks about the importance of speccing into survivability in the in-game. One-shots are common if you're not prepared for them, and it's a skill check that you only have split seconds to react to. He advises hardcore players, by the way, to try softcore first to get to know what they're up against. Additionally, leveling up your glyphs will be a core part of increasing your character's power and improving your Paragon tree. Now, the glyphs become more powerful once they're leveled up, and it's important to find the right glyphs for your specific build. The glyphs are inserted, of course, into the Paragon board into a meaningful slot, which affects like a wide area of the Paragon board itself. Now, also, we got to talk about the Nightmare and Capstone dungeons, as well as Helltide, which is where players can target farm specific item drops and obtain important crafting materials. Now, the baseline sigils are easy enough to run, but players can also unlock higher Nightmare sigils to make the dungeons as challenging as they want. Now, while Nightmare dungeons are things that players don't have to be slamming their heads against, the most challenging aspect were the capstone dungeons. One concern Riker did bring up is that only 30 of the regular dungeons will become nightmare dungeons in each season, which could result in complaints if players can't do all 115 or however many are in the game as nightmare dungeons. Now, Helltide is pretty challenging in itself and includes different random events that spawn, including distinct roaming boss monsters that can be encountered. And also remember, you might be running into the Butcher in Helltide. I'm curious to see if he's like an upgraded version of the Butcher. But yes, those type of encounters can definitely happen in Helltide events. Now, of course, you talked about how you will be farming Helltides or Senders for rewards. And the spawn rate of Helltides is 1 hour on and 1 hour off, meaning that players must plan their gameplay accordingly. However, Riker did express concern about limiting players' agency and the potential for tedious and complicated schedule-based in-game loop. So this is where it's kind of the concern. Now, there were some concerns about actually finding really good items for his build in the in-game of Diablo 4. He explained that the odds of getting a legendary that was good for his build were considered low. He had to find a base item that was an upgrade along with...
I mean, Riker only played for like 2 or 3 days, right? And he didn't get to level 100. I think it was capped at 75. If maybe I'm not understanding that right. Okay, even if it wasn't. But this is what people wanted. Remember, right? Legendaries are dropping rapidly, right? In beta. And people were complaining, oh, it's too many legendaries. Oh, this and that. Oh, this and that. Now it's changed. Now, well, now it's not that it's changed. Now it's someone gets to experience the default. Now it's a problem. You get what I'm like? You just can't make everyone happy. It's not possible. That's why I think this or that, or being upset about this, wait until you play the game. Then we will go from there.
With a legendary essence to extract and put onto it, or find items that are altogether really strong. However, he does note that this may not be the case for most people as they progress through different difficulty tiers.
Exactly.
Your upgrades will become easier. Additionally, he talks about the Paragon boards and how they completely changed his view on them, since each class gets 7 to 8 boards that are themed around the central legendary power, which he finds more powerful than legendary fixes. So it seems like he's kind of happier with the Paragon boards now that he went hands-on with them. Now, one issue with the Paragon board is that you cannot apparently plan ahead for it, as there is no planner built into the game. It's the same with the Paragon board powers. You can only see them if you're at a gate node that will connect to a new Paragon board, making it more challenging to plan. So this is where it's kind of strange with the Paragon board. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be many, many different online resources that will alleviate this, so I don't think it's going to be a big problem for most.
But there shouldn't be any online resources that alleviates this. If it's an issue, if it is an issue, again, I don't know. I think it should be brought up, and Blizzard should just add the solution in game. The reason I'm gonna just keep saying this. Path of Exile is literally a burden to play because you need so many other resources out the game to play it. Most of your time playing Path of Exile is tabbing out, in my opinion. Because once you've beat the campaign, that doesn't really change, right? So you're just tabbing in and out, or second monitor to see, oh, do I get this? Do I get this skill? What does my Path of Builder say? What does the guide I'm following on this forum say? What does my friend say? What does this say? What does this YouTube video say? What is this timestamp? How should I be like? No. This shouldn't. That should not be a solution. When you have to tab out the game, and Osman said this, made a good point because he brought up his Path of Builder and all the new is disgusting. You shouldn't need a whole nother application and other tabs to get your build to like to understand your build
most of you in the future.
or
Furthermore,
plan your
Riker
build,
did
I
go
should
on to
say.
confirm his favorite
Plan
and
and
least
understand.
favorite character builds from the in-game, and this is where it gets very interesting. He says his favorite was the permanent werewolf
Druid.
stormcaster druid build, I kid you not, followed by the berserking barbarian and lightning sorcerer. That gets me excited to hear that the barbarian is clear up there on his rank list. That is so cool to hear.
Why?
Now, the necromancer came in as his least.
Dude, again, Riker is just one person. Why does him saying anything about barbarian or druid get anyone excited? If you play the game, you know druid is gonna be lit. I didn't say it was gonna be strong. I just said it's gonna be lit. I can already tell druid is gonna be fun. Barbarian is gonna be fun. Maybe all the classes will be fun. I didn't play Necro, so I don't know, and I didn't really do too much of Sork, but you shouldn't need Riker's opinion to. Oh, now I know this is gonna be fun. What? Get real.
Favorite, though, due to the difficulty of having a pet build with haphazard minions.
And I'm not knocking this guy, but I know for a fact other people think like this, and they'll use Riker's video as, oh well, Druid is gonna like. Come on, bro. Like it was already fun in the beta, so you like.
That cannot be targeted. Now, while minions did die regularly due to nerfs made to minion survivability, he still found himself generating enough corpses to
For
replenish
Necro.
the army. Despite having preferred targetable minions, he felt that he had enough to do with active abilities and Blood Lance during combat. Now, I do want to say something about that. It would be cool if you can actually specifically target certain elites or monsters that you really need to handle just by having some sort of command prompt so you can actually command your army. I think that this needs to be fine-tuned in the future and would bring a lot more meaning behind your minions. I think it would be cool. I know it's kind of a nuanced feature, but it does make a lot of sense that they would add something like that into the game. But yeah, there's his assessment of the end game. Overall, some concerns still linger so far about.
By the way, his video is like an hour plus, so there is a lot to unpack in that. I didn't want to do a reaction because this is how I feel. I was like, well, no one cares what I have to say about Riker's video. And I didn't really have an opinion. I just watched as for entertainment purposes and educational purposes. So I didn't make a video about it. But there isn't a lot to actually unpack with the video, and I think it is worth watching.
About the end game, my biggest.
If you're the type of person that just needs to know more. If you're just a normal casual player, it doesn't do anything for you.
Concern with
It really doesn't do anything for anyone. Just gives them more stuff to think about.
the end game is definitely being able to go in and kind of respec your entire build if you absolutely need to. That seems to be a little bit of a concern. Also, when it comes to actually finding legendary items, unique items, and considering that they are so rare, well, I think some people might actually complain about that considering how amazing the drops were during the beta. And I'm curious to see, again, how you all will be reacting to the server slam, given that the drop rate is going to be reflecting of what we're going to be expecting with the full version of the game. Again, everything is going to be super rare. Anything that we actually are seeking in terms of legendaries, uniques, and that sort of thing, don't expect to be dropping at your feet every 5 seconds.
When I played my druid the second time around, I got 2 legendaries. It was the werewolves turned to wolfman and they spread rabies. And something else to do with rabies. And that was like the only ones I remember that were useful. And I dropped those like around level like 15. So I'm ready. It doesn't the legendaries didn't really mean much to me because I played druid, so it's whatever.
Like in the beta.
I'm
All
ready.
right, so now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. So yes, what was my most
so
recent
tired,
video
bro.
about? It was about this one right
Can't
here.
stop
A
yawning.
critical update reveals major feature for season's rare monster changes. So yeah, good news if you did not hear. Once you complete the single player story once, you can go ahead and skip it. Basically for every
That's a
single
good one.
season,
That's a real
every
good
appearance
feature.
that you have
That's
in
really
Diablo 4. It's
game-changing.
account wide, so that's going to be great for
In my opinion.
replayability. Now, let's see what you guys had to say about that. Now, Dagan goes on to say this. The Monk and Witch Doctor are their most unique classes, and they make for amazing expansion pieces. As long as the Monk has 7-sided strike, it's gonna be amazing. Dude, if they add the Monk in, I'm gonna be celebrating. They did say that they were considering having nostalgic type classes in the future, that's something that is on the table and that they aren't shying away from. So that is potentially something that could happen in the future. Keep sounding off what you would like to see from even Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Now, Braun says this, I personally like the regulations they've placed on farming. I'd rather have multiple farming methods I will have to use to get the gear I want, rather than repeating the same optimal dungeon over and over. Another addition in keeping the game feeling fresh. P.S. I check your channel every day, and you're doing a terrific job.
I agree. Having multiple farming methods does matter a lot in a live service game because you can only do like he's saying, you can only do the same dungeon so many times. And I think that's why they're rotating 30 dungeons out of the 100 plus to be, was it Nightmare, whatever. I kind of understand why they're only rotating 30 instead of, all of them. Because in case a set is more optimal than the other, they don't want players to just run these and the next season run them again. They want to, change it up, learn from the previous season and kind of add a little on top. So that's good. And I think a lot of people probably resonate with this too. But I feel as long as you can get the gear in a good progression way, like you're progressing, you never hit like a wall that makes you want to quit. That's good. I think that's something that's just important.
I'm trying. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, I like the idea of being able to explore the entirety of the world and having multiple, I guess you'd say, revenue streams for farming. I think that is very cool instead of it just being one dungeon over and over again. We were doing that in the beta, me and my twin bro Ryan, and we were like, man, I hope this is not actually how it's going to be. I want to be able to explore the world and be rewarded constantly just by doing my thing, exploring naturally. So I'm hoping.
Why were people farming? Dude, if you were farming dungeons in the beta, I got some bad news for you. I really got some bad news for you. Like, come see me about this bad news. If you were farming dungeons in a beta with excessive high legendary drop rate, dude, you were
hoping that's the case, but again, I know for a fact there will be
a
hardcore community that absolutely finds that one method that is just the best method for farming. It happens in every ARPG, and I don't think Diablo 4 will be any different. Now, Ian says this right here. I think the Monk will be the most unique enough class that they could bring back in the future. Build them a martial arts archetype. Yeah, again, 100% for the Monk. I hope they do and they really listen to the community because, dude, that would absolutely
I never played the
make
Monk.
my day.
I've only seen
Thank
them
you so
in
much
Hero
for all the comments and support on the videos. I have you guys covered. We are entering into May very, very soon. That's going to be the server slam. And then June's going to be here. The actual game is going to be releasing. Remember, if you got the deluxe edition or the ultimate edition, you'll be able to play early access as soon as June 1st. I've made videos about that. I'll try to recap it once again once we get closer to release for you all. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.
Fun video overall. I consider myself entertained. And yeah, just another day closer to Diablo 4, in my opinion. That's how I see all content. Just another day closer to Diablo 4. Anyways, cool video. And you know the motto. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys watching. Tell someone you love them if you haven't. And do I have any, like I said, the Riker video, if you care enough, it is worth watching. Or at least listening to while you do other stuff. But it doesn't really do anything. He doesn't reveal anything. I think it's just like something to listen to and extrapolate whatever you want from it. Or just, food for thought type of video. But it is what it is. But yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.